How hard can it be? Microsegmentation with Cisco Secure Workload. All right, let's check out the main dashboard. Now we get lots of information here. Right away, we get the overall scope security score and a score breakdown from vulnerability score, process hash, attack surface, forensics, network anomalous score, and segmentation compliance score. We can pivot into each one of these as we go along. Now, vulnerability score. Now, it talks about what a vulnerability score is, how the vulnerability score is calculated, and then more importantly, how do I improve my score? So, for example, updating software packages on the most vulnerable workloads. Obviously, you want to do that based on true risk. Now, process hash. What is a process hash score? Now, this gives an assessment on the consistency of a process binary hash across the system. So, for example, you could have multiple web servers all running a certain version of Apache, but there's a specific workload that deviates from the consistency of the rest of the workloads in that environment. It may be related to not patching that specific system, or it could be something more nefarious where the adversary has back revisioned the application to allow them to expose the system with additional vulnerable code. Either or, we identify it to let you know. Now, attack surface score. So what is an attack surface score? It's an indicator of security posture in your deployment. Now, it relates to open ports on the workloads. So the more open ports that you may have on a specific workload puts you at greater risk. So we also talk about how the attack surface score is calculated, what's included in the attack surface details, and then what does approving a port mean in the context of attack surface. So again, we get into how do I improve? So things like close unused ports, fix vulnerabilities, and so on. Now, forensic score. Now, what is a forensic score? Well, it's one of the security scores that when combined will give a simple assessment of the overall security posture. Like the other security scores, a higher score is better. Now, how is a forensic score calculated? It depends on the event and the severity. And it also talks about how I can improve my score. Now, sometimes it's about tuning, and others is removing the risk from the environment. Network anomaly score. Now, what is network anomaly score? It gives an assessment of whether there are any symptoms of unusually significant amounts of data being transmitted out of your workloads. Now, again, we talk about how the score is calculated. So a network anomaly event, the severity might require immediate action to help reduce the overall score. How do I improve? Well, tuning your network anomaly score is one way. Obviously, removing the anomalies themselves from impacting your environment like exfiltration and maybe driving towards a zero trust outcome where these assets are restricted in the way they communicate are all going to contribute to that score. And finally, segmentation compliant score. So really, how do I know how effective my segmentation policies are? Now, this is an indication of how effectively enforced workspaces are based on observed rejected and escaped flows. So rejected and escape flows are a sign that the enforcement isn't reliable and should be investigated. Now, how is a segmentation compliance score calculated? Well, we provide you those details, and ultimately, how do I improve it? Well, if you investigate and reduce the number of rejected and escape flows, this will obviously help improve your overall segmentation compliance scores. This is going to help you be accountable to the controls that you deliver within the organization.